All right. Are we ready? All right. Calling the August 12th, 2024 Parks and Recreation meeting to order. Would you please call roll?
Charlie?
Here.
Mike?
Here.
Denny?
Here.
Shelby?
Here.
Scott?
Present.
Leonard?
Here.
And we're missing Bruce.
Okay, Bruce is absent tonight. All right. Approval of the minutes of July 8th, 2024 minutes are in your packet. If you need to take a minute to look through them, feel free. Otherwise, if you don't see any changes, the chair would entertain a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
So moved.
A second?
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No one's opposed. The minutes are approved. Here's a signed copy for the.
Thank you, Charlie.
Moving on to number 4, which is old business. The first thing in old business is project program updates by Sean.
Thank you. All right, outdoor pools. Fairway Pool has closed down for the year. Thornhill has gone to weekends until Labor Day. Splash Pad will be open till the end of September. City Hall Park, I don't know if y'all have been by here, and this place is hopping. The pickleball courts, walking trail, everything's just booming over there. Hoping to finish up the dirt work for the all-inclusive playground this week. Tentatively, they said a couple of weeks till install, so we'll keep our fingers crossed that that's the case. Same thing with Stonehill on there. Dirt work is done down there. They're going to try to do the installs at the same time, this one and that one, same company. The BHRC, the gym floor replacement has begun. The demo is complete. They were scraping and sanding today. Hopefully first of next week that's wrapped up. Indian Head Park, the grant-funded walking trail is complete. I don't know if they started it this afternoon, but the parking lot was damaged during a tornado. It is getting ripped up, replaced, restriped. Sports complex, we're still planning to do the exterior of the concession stand building at baseball. The old soccer restroom construction, moving along, hoping to wrap the roof up this week. Get the pad poured out front, install all the fixtures, and wrap that one up before the season begins. The Greens cart barn roof is completed. They started on the main building July 29th. Half of it's done. They're starting on another half this week. So weather permitting, by the end of the week, that may be done. If not, first of next week, we'll be good to go. Lake Sherwood Park, the construction's moving fast and furious down there. They got the bases in for the parking lot and the basketball court. Electrical panels upgraded. We got our RPZ set, waiting for the water meter to be installed. And then we are going to start that bathroom as soon as they pour the pad for the basketball court. They asked if we would hold off and not be in their way. So we will gladly oblige, and that's pretty much all I got.
All right, thank
Blake,
you.
think anything?
Well,
No, I think on that, the bathroom that we put in out at Sherwood, our intent on that one is to have a true timeline on how long it takes us to put them in. So we'll be done with the one at soccer, but once they give us the go-ahead, we're gonna have all our people lined up, and we should get a true timeline, because it's taken some time on different projects. So I think we'll get a true timeline on how long it takes us for us to, put a bathroom in. So we're thinking 30 days, so we'll
30
find that
days or
out.
less,
So
so.
that puts us in line with their project completion as well. So I think
Great.
we're hopeful that
that's your turnaround time. Okay,
that's
good.
what we're hoping.
All right, the minutes need to reflect that Bruce Mason has entered the meeting now. Sorry. We've got some people here tonight, the Blagg family and Rebecca Carmone, I guess it's Carmine, that wanted to speak on some subject, but we didn't have the form, and we're not really that formal about speaking on topics. So can y'all tell me what topic you wanted to speak on, so when we get there I can... Youth Center, Durant, all of you on that topic? Okay, fine, thank you. All right, program updates, Blake.
All right, program updates. If you'll look in your packet, I think you will see a City of Sherwood recreational spring baseball, softball season. There's been a lot of talk over the years of city picking that program up, what it would look like. There's been also a lot of talk of the athletic club that runs it now, where they used to be, where they have been, and I think we've beat a lot of those stories in. I think what I would like to see happen, what my recommendation is that the city of Sherwood pick up baseball and softball program. I've got multiple reasons why. However, I think the main point that I'm going to hammer in is the amount of savings we can have for the participants in the league. I also have a wonderful staff that could handle the duties, and I'll introduce them in a little bit. But based on what I have here for our numbers, I believe we could save $40+ per child that registers. We can offer some things that the club does not at this time, but it would be my recommendation that the city of Sherwood pick up the baseball and softball programs. And by the programs, I mean the recreational league. This is not talking all-stars. This is not talking tournament teams. This is the recreational league like we do with the basketball league. Tommy Smith is our program coordinator, and he is taking that basketball to new heights. It's full. He has a template that works. I think we can mirror that with baseball and softball. With that being a 10-game regular season, end of the season tournament, and I think it's been widely successful. I think we can also have the staff on hand that pushes hard to build the numbers up for the softball side as well as baseball. But if you look at some of the numbers across, the other cities, Maumel's one of the more expensive ones. I have those listed in order. Maumel's up to $140 per child. The athletic club currently right there right now, Sylvan Hills Athletic Club is at $130. Lakewood is $100 to $140 depending on age. The Cabot is at $110 per child with early bird discounts, sibling discounts. I think we can offer similar structures as that. Jacksonville is at $90, $80 each additional child after that. Benton's at $90. Conway is at $85 for the summer, $60 for fall. Lone Oak is $75, $65, $55. So we could start, the numbers broke down at about the $90 range. We could go lower if we chose to. But I think what we do at the 90 range, we get all the stuff taken care of. We have an opportunity to figure out where we want to go future-wise with it. But I have a staff that I'm extremely confident. I have a staff that would like to do it. And that is, Austin Spears is the facility manager. Tommy Smith is our program coordinator who runs the basketball. We have Phyllis Brooks who does our concessions. And that would be us the city picking up all the concession stands and running those as well. And Lynn Pennington is back there as well. She runs the office. She handles schedules. She handles field rentals. So you put that team together right there, and I do have extreme confidence that this is something we could do, and we could do very, very, very successfully. So I would entertain any questions that you have, but that is what my recommendation is.
Is 450 about what the participation is currently?
They had 484 this year.
They have 484 this year, combined softball and baseball.
That's correct.
When did you discuss this with the club?
We haven't discussed it with the club.
Why wouldn't you discuss it?
Because
with
it
the
comes to according to what we were asked to do, it goes to Parks, then to the city
club?
council.
Sure it does, but you gotta have a little bit of, you just can't say, hey, you guys are out. Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you meet with them and say, hey, guys, this is what we're looking at. This is the reason why.
We've met with them on several things, and I don't think that we see eye to eye on a lot of issues. So we came to, our first step is here, not there.
That's the problem.
That's been the problem.
That's been the problem. Because the city's first, you just said it, and I'm glad you did. It's here, not there.
That's what
Why
that's what
wouldn't
the city council asked us to do.
Why wouldn't you go to
Is
those
that right?
guys and you say, don't get defended.
I'm not, I promise you I'm not.
Why wouldn't you go to this group and say, let us help you? I think Bruce has said something last couple of meetings ago, he was very passionate about, why don't the city help? Why don't the city help? Why don't the city help? You're wanting to do all this stuff, but you're saying, we didn't go to the club and say, let us
I
Let
think
us
we do
help.
help. I think that's the problem. I think we help tremendously. I think Austin and the staff could speak that we help tremendously.
No doubt. You just mentioned the best group around. There's no doubt about it.
But I think, to your point, I think what it is we've offered help. We've tried to help in any ways. When there's stuff, and I don't want to go down this road, but there's issues that come up that blames our staff for stuff that we're out there.
That's been that way for 30 years.
Why is that? But why has that been accepted?
That's been that, oh, I get it. No,
So,
no.
I
but
mean, I just don't wanna accept
People
it.
running their mouths outside. That's not necessarily the club saying any of that stuff. Listen, I'm not gonna go over that. We've been over this, been over this. I'm very upset that you did not discuss this with the club first. That's not fair. It's not right.
Well, I
I'm
think,
going to say, and Mike, you and I don't disagree very often on things, but I think it is proper procedure for this to come first through administrative, which I assume it went through her first, then through the Parks Committee, and then to the club, because it is a Parks and Recreation issue. And I don't think it would be proper for him to take a proposed plan to Shack.
You don't
and
have
then
to take a
people-
proposed plan.
but-
You can just say, guys, this is.
Well, an idea even. And then,
I just
and then the
text
people
two
from
of them,
Shack,
going, man, that's news to us.
and then people from Shack to be contacting us and saying, hey, we're being talked to about this, blah, 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 and none of the people on this committee to have ever heard about it. And that's the reason I think that that's the proper direction for it to go.
Okay, good. So then after tonight, they'll have the meeting with the club and discuss.
I would think
before
that
it goes to
after
council,
tonight,
right?
I think that there should be discussions
Okay,
about
good.
what's gonna happen from there.
and I think,
No, I was gonna say, I see both sides. I see what Mike is saying, but I do agree that we should know about it before somebody else is calling us and saying, hey, what is this about? Y'all trying to take over the league or whatever, and we're just kinda in the dark and not knowing, because that's happened on some other things, and we didn't have a clue about
Right.
it. And it's, so we've been down that road before, so I do feel like we should have known about it. So one of my questions I do have, so these things that you have listed down here, these other local prices, so these are rec leagues, the city is running these leagues.
Some of
Right here,
those are-
there's no, the ones listed at the bottom, there's not a Shack, these are run by the city.
there's some that are city, and then there's some that are organization. I believe Benton is organization.
Yeah.
Maumelle and Lakewood are organizations.
Jacksonville's run by the city, right?
Yeah, I know the city of Conway,
Lone Oak City.
they decided, and it was because of the volatility of trying to have a parent, private, we want to call it nonprofit, whatever, it just ended up being too volatile. The city took it over, and it was far more successful doing it that way because it was consistent, people knew how it was going, they didn't have all the infighting amongst
What does volatile mean?
volatile.
What do you mean by that?
You have,
Personalities get involved.
thank you, personality conflicts within, and it ends up driving people away if they don't have a good experience. And what we're trying to do, we talked about the fact that this should be priced so that all kids get an opportunity to be able to experience baseball. This is a strictly recreational. We're not, this is not a, oh, I'm going to get involved with this so that my kid can be on All-Stars, or I'm going to go and recruit so that I can get a, tournament team and bounce off from there. This is just strictly recreational, like the basketball is. This is a chance for kids to get out there and experience basketball. And then if people want to rent the fields for tournament stuff, they certainly, travel teams, whatever. But we need to, the message that we got from this group was that we needed a strictly recreationally based baseball and softball program. Is that not,
Which is what it's been for 75 years?
well, you can speak to
Yes,
that
it
on
is.
the.
It is, and that's okay. Listen, it is what it is. I don't like the way it's been done, and it's okay. To your point, Blake, if anybody can do this, those guys can do it. There's not a doubt in my mind. Lynn is the best one around at scheduling. She and I have been together forever. I mean, I'm not discounting that at all. If anybody can do it, they can do it.
I think they also want to do it. I think that's a big key too.
And it may
They
be.
want to do it.
Because they're the ones whose jobs end up
you
being
know,
harder.
they've taken a lot of blame over the years, and it's unfair. And I'm not even going down the road. This is just for us to recommend the fact that we run a recreationally based baseball and softball program, and I think we can do it. I know we can.
You know, I'm passionate about baseball, passionate about softball up there. Nobody likes change. I mean, just in today's society, when you change, you're always going to have people that are for it. You're going to have people that are against it. My biggest, you know, I do agree that it needs to come before us where we can see it. I also totally agree. I don't like getting blindsided ever. I think that other people need to be a part. And I guess one of my questions, because this is, you know, it's been talked, it's been talked for about 3 years. If you just want to be honest about, when I first come, 3 years ago, I heard the city's going to take over. I guess my biggest deal is, this is the first I've seen of this is tonight. Didn't really know that it was going to be brought up till I got here. Is this something that, that, hey, we're going to vote tonight, that we're going to say what? That's something that I don't really like to do when I've just got to look at it and I just want to go through the process. Now, do I think it's something that, hey, you brought before? I think the way everything's going in the city, as far as at the fields and the softball, there's got to be some change. But I also think everything's better in a team. I think everything's better that you're going to get as far as when you're starting to bring a community together, get some thoughts. I know that we had met earlier, and I don't know how one of my questions would be is, I know that they formed a meeting, a group meeting with the Optimists or with different people in the city over in the baseball and softball that we're going to meet monthly to discuss this. To the best of my knowledge, I think they met one time.
No, we've met twice,
Twice,
and
okay.
both meetings ended up being about tournament baseball.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that meeting was no different than going to
And you
anything
missed the
else.
last meeting, Denny, where some of this stuff was discussed. You were at a
Right.
game, so.
We didn't need another tournament baseball meeting, so
Right.
that didn't last.
I mean, I do believe for us to grow in baseball and softball, I think we've been going down, but I think that's also, there's a lot of kids have other things to do. I don't necessarily think it's just totally, but I do think we got to have a plan in place. I've been a big proponent all along the turf fields. I just, I'll still say it. I think the city needs turf fields. People around us have turf fields.
We agree.
I agree. And so, I do believe we got to have change. And I do believe, and I've told people here that are passionate about it, that when the city does put in the money for the turf, and when they do all that stuff, then it has to be run by the city, just because it's too big of a financial, And so I just kind of wanted to make sure as far as, because when I first got it and the way we were headed, hey, we're about to vote on an $80 price, a $90 price, and a $100 price, and I was like, maybe I've been out. I was at the last meeting. I did have to miss the other one.
That's on me for bringing it this way. And I have multiple reasons why I brought it this way. However, I wanted to go through the channels that was asked of us by the city council, is to bring things forward through Parks and Rec.
First.
So that's what we're doing. We're trying to go through the channels that's been asked of us to go through. I feel like y'all should know before anybody else if we're gonna start it here. And I accept that wholeheartedly. I have met with my staff. We've talked about it for a long, long time. There's a lot of reasons for now also, some turnover in the organization, some things that have happened that we're not fans of, that we don't really need to get into. I think the time is right for us to take it on. We can do it, and we're excited to be able to do it, so.
It wasn't something that you just that Blake didn't want to come forward unless he had all of his ducks in a row to know that they wanted to do it, they felt capable of doing it. He did the research to make sure that we could do it, we could bring it in and save families quite a bit of money. They don't have to go out and do fundraisers on top of a, $140 entry fee. There's all sorts of things that we can do to,
Yeah, we have the flexibility, as
We're not paying-
opposed to what the club themselves can do as far as price goes. I think we can offer the same product, and I don't think, I think we save families a lot of money, then go out there and enjoy it just the same. There will be a lot of similarities to it, but at the same time, it's gonna be, if we're gonna be on the hook for it, we're gonna, they're ready for it.
And
so.
it's not that, that's where we are gonna need, Bruce, for example, I know he's got, years of experience of knowing how, back when it was the Optimist Club. You do too. There are definitely, they've got people that they could call on when they have questions and so forth. But I know that they have been frustrated with, we want this field, you get that field ready, no, we're gonna do this field. We've spent all day doing this field. Oh, we're gonna have a clinic, no, we're not gonna have a clinic because the field wasn't ready and the field was ready. But it's good, it's easy to always point the blame at the city when they are doing everything they can. And I think they're fully capable of doing it, as you said, Mike. And I think that certainly he did not take this lightly and wanted it to come to you guys to say, hey, we can indeed do this. This is not pie in the sky. Here's indeed what we can do. You guys can think about it. You can, certainly he'll reach out and talk to, next step would be Shaq, and then you can come back. But we do want to give plenty of time so that, spring is already set, their contract's up after, spring. But we want this to be successful. We want baseball to grow in the city, like we want all the sports to grow in the city. So I want to make sure that they have plenty of time so that they could make sure that everything they're doing, their marketing, their promotion, their everything, they've got enough time in which to do it. So that's why you guys are hearing about it at this stage of the game instead of in
Okay.
November.
So no action is needed on this item tonight.
I want to chip in a little bit. Like, I have two girls that are currently playing, so, I'm in it. I do appreciate you bringing it to us first. This is your job. So any of us, I don't have the authority to go out and talk to somebody about doing something on my job without bringing it to my bosses for permission to do that first. So this is what he's doing. He's bringing it to us first before, and this is not a hostile takeover. This is just permission to negotiate. He's just saying, can we go talk to the Optimist Club or the Shack about, can we do this moving forward? That's what I'm seeing here. But what he has is a laid out plan, which again, if you came in here and said, I wanted to do this, we would have asked you for this, which you already have. So I don't have an issue. The city already runs basketball, volleyball, we run tennis and swimming. So I don't see why we wouldn't add softball because you're already running all the city programs when it comes to recreational leagues. I don't have an issue with this at all. It looks really good. Like I said, I have two girls that play now, so the concept of, and some of their friends did not, two of the girls on both of their teams went to other cities. They left Sherwood and went to Jacksonville because it was a little bit cheaper. Or they're going to Lakewood because the fields are a little bit better. Or they're going to Cabot or Conway, or just, they're going other places. So I think this is the first step in trying to bring some of the kids that live here and getting them to stay here. I think it looks good, man. I'll commend you on putting all this together, actually looking at the other cities and what they're offering and what their costs are, even the sibling discounts. We don't do that. I pay $130 for both kids. I got two kids. It's like, can you knock $10 off? Because I got two of them. But we have, this is a good setup. I don't have any issues with this. Since I've been here, since I've been in this, since my girls have been playing, which is way before I got on this committee, and I was on that group that talked about the softball. All we did was talk about travel ball. I told you that one day, what are we doing? Because we're not talking about the rec league. All we're talking about is how we're going to do tournaments for travel ball. And that was not the purpose. we keep circling back to that. And, I mean, since I've been here, I mean, there's been talk, before I even got on this committee, about the city taking over this. So I don't, like, none of us should be shocked that we're having this conversation. We've been having it for years. I mean, it looks good to me. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to us actually having conversations with Shaq to see what this can look like moving forward. But we got to do something. We got to do something. So, I mean, I commend you and appreciate the effort that you put in on this so far.
Thank you.
All right, anybody else have anything for tonight? There's no action on it tonight, and it'll be back on the agenda next month? All right, terrific. Thank you, guys. It is good work on this, Blake, Sean,
It's
everybody.
teamwork.
And teamwork
Austin
back
put a
there.
lot of stuff, Lynn put a lot in.
Good
I
work
think,
on this proposal, guys.
Tommy's basketball program's done this, so got a team on it.
All right, this is program updates. Is there any other programs you have any updates on? Was that the only one?
That's it.
Okay. Durand Youth Center update, and we've got some people here that want to speak on that. Do you want to give an
No,
update?
I think, yeah, absolutely, let them, I'd
Yeah,
love to.
anybody wants to speak on the Durand Youth Center? I've got Simone, Grace, and Luke up first in whatever order, because it looks like they're all from the same family.
You'll need to ask them to state their address.
Oh, yeah, and state your address. Come up, I don't know, is that mic on tonight? Come up to the microphone there and state your address if you would.
It's
Keep your comments down to about 3 minutes, but I'm not going to time you.
It's fine, no problem. My name is Simone Blagg. I live at 4 Bighorn Cove in Sherwood. I've lived here over 7 years at that address, and I've been a resident of Sherwood for over a decade. During that time, I've obviously become a mother, and I'm involved, and I appreciate living in the city of Sherwood. And I also appreciate having the Durand Youth Center. It has been a true lifesaver for me and my children during the height of COVID, when there was not really many places to go. Like, not 2020, but 2021, 2022, when we were at home, that was a place for my kids to go hang out with other kids and just spend time with people. From there, it has grown to actually be a regular part of our lives. My kids look forward to going there every summer. It's a reward for them, not just for them, but us. Like the events they have there for the families, bingo night, family Halloween costume night. My kids are very proud of this awards they've won. They come home excited. Even the little one gets to participate, and obviously you can tell she's hard to keep control of. There are board games, video games, tennis courts, basketball courts. I don't have to have all of these games at my house. I can go there. I can send my kids there and know that they're safe. It's a safe environment. They can be independent and still be supervised. This is a hard age for kids, 10 to 16. If I don't keep them at home, then I don't know where they would be. They could be on the streets running around, not just my children, but other children in the neighborhood, in the community. There's no place else for us to send them. We don't have a Boys and Girls Club that I've been able to find. If you let me know that we have some other option, if you take this away, then okay, but it's not the same. Here, the staff, we bump into them at Walmart, my kids' band concert, my daughter's Girl Scout troop goes there. They do events, birthday parties. They're excited to have birthday parties there next year. We really just enjoy the time there. My kids have been begging all summer to go. Like, they were out of town when it was open for them to go to. They got a call, oh, it's closed for the air conditioner to be down. And they've asked every week since then, can you call? Can you find out what's going on? Can you call? Can you find out what's going on? And then I come home and tell them, hey, I got a call that the youth center is shutting down. They're heartbroken because they've been waiting all summer. They want to go. We go during the year too. Like, it's a fun place to go. And I ask that before you make this decision that you go there, you see what's going on. Like, it's harder to get information out because they no longer have a Facebook page where they can promote their events and things. But we want to be there. We want to be there. We want to see them. We want to be part of the community. We get to see people that we don't usually see when we're at the youth center. Like, we've made friends. Zoe's made friends. I've made friends. My husband's made, like, we've all made friends there. And we just ask that you continue to provide this place for our community. There's no place like this. We can't go here we can't go to the parks and the walking trails when it's freezing cold outside. If it's extremely hot, I can't just be like, okay, yeah, kids, go here. That's a DHS phone call. Here I am trying to provide them with what they need, and you guys want to take it away. I'd ask that you not do that and you reconsider and find another way.
Okay.
If you need help, I'm happy to help.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Rebecca? Oh, we got another black. Grace, I assume?
Hi, my name's Grace, and I really like the youth center because the people there are really nice. Me and my brother look forward to going there, and we really enjoy it, and there's a lot of stuff to do. We can go on a playground, we can play pool, we can play tennis and basketball, we can do arts and crafts. I've made lots of friends, and I just really like it there.
Thank you, Grace. Luke?
Just one sentence. Okay. Luke's gonna say nothing.
Okay. Luke, we know you're for the Durand Youth Center, so. Rebecca?
I'm sorry, I will cry most of the time that I talk. I've talked to Blake over the phone. He can
Well,
let
give
you
us
know.
your name and address to start
So,
with.
my name is Rebecca Carmine. I live at 2002 Broken Bow. I'm in North Little Rock, but because the Durand Center has a membership, they don't discriminate if you live in Sherwood or not. And me and my daughter have been members for a couple of years. Even when she turned 9, I re-upped my membership because I also like to play pool there. There are times when maybe she doesn't want to be there by herself, or her friends don't feel comfortable to yet to be by themselves because they just turned 9. I was just able to start letting her be there by herself, and she too begged every day to go. And when I went, she'd go, "Okay, mommy, go home," because I'm old enough to be here by myself. Our kids need to learn independence, and there's nowhere else that they can go for that. Like she said, she spoke very well, is that our kids can't be out on the street. It's not safe out there. But the Durand Center had employees there that my daughter loved playing games with them, loved doing things. She met friends there. She got to play there. She started learning her independence there. And there's nowhere else for me to take her between Park Hill, Indian Hills, Oak Brook, and Lakewood. Unless you're part of Oak Brook and Lakewood POAs to be able to take your kids to those facilities, Park Hill and Indian Hills don't have that. There's only 2 small playgrounds. We don't have playgrounds for our kids to go to really either. The North Little Rock facilities are primarily south of I-40. It takes me a long time to get there. The Boys and Girls Club that is in North Little Rock is only open 2:30 to 6, Monday through Friday. They're not open on Saturday. The Durand Center was open on Saturday where I could take her there. I'm president of a POA and we have meetings. I liked to be able to take her to the Durand Center and drop her off, and I got to go to my meeting so that she wasn't at my meeting with me. It's a community need. This is something that's needed. Primarily, you guys talk about baseball, softball, league plays. My kid is not competitive. We're just not competitive people. She also gets injured easily. She needs more of the playing the board games, playing pool, doing the arts and crafts, things like that. You know, we need those things for kids, and we don't have that. The Durand Center is the only place for those kind of kids to go. And it's just really sad to take that away from those kids because they don't have anywhere else to go.
Okay.
So I just ask for you to reconsider closing it, and please open it back up.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, Blake, follow that.
I think one thing you see is, and I've received a couple emails and a couple phone calls. The people that attend the place are very passionate about it. And like I told, I went there as a kid. I've ran the after-school program. Tommy does it now, and the summer camp. We take kids there as well. We utilize that facility. It is a part of what we've done forever. I think the misconception is that it's closed down for good. We are unsure how it will come back. It is closed down due to the air conditioning units out, which has allowed us the time to just step back and figure out what we want to do with that facility. I think we've also, spoken at city council, and there was a, a workshop about that, about upgrading the exterior of the facility, the facilities, the tennis ball courts, or excuse me, the tennis courts, the basketball courts, and things of that nature, because they are in very bad need of, an update. The interior as well is going to be needing some things, but what we have to do is we have to figure out what is the proper thing for that facility. We've ran a lot of numbers, and I know that these probably are not indicative of the value that individuals place on the facility itself. But as the parks director, the numbers are kind of staggering to the facility itself. What I mean by that is, and I know we've gone over this many times, income versus, what you get from the program is not the tell-all. However, revenue year to date, since it opened back up after COVID, in 2022, has been $11,299.
Did you have that before COVID? Do you have a comparison?
We didn't go back that far.
I'm just
What we
curious
were
if
looking at
it's-
is, since it came back, what we have the last 2 years plus.
2 years. No
And it was closed. It was the last facility that we opened back up. And there was, there was not a call for it at that time to really be open. We hadn't received calls. Like I said, I can appreciate the passion for this. The total expenses for that, counting utilities, salaries, and staffing, and materials, and games, and things like that, $216,370.
Well, I can tell you that its revenue probably for years was
Was
close to
nothing.
zero.
You're right. It was zero.
It ran at zero for the time it was built for dozens of years, I don't know how many years.
Right.
Because it was what people wanted it to be. They paid their taxes and they wanted a youth center. And so they got a youth center that was provided for by their taxes. And this is what I've said for 18 years I've been on the council now. We're not a money-making venture. Cities are not money-making ventures.
Right, but that's money that could be used for playgrounds and other things that are highly used. I asked for Blake to go and get the logbook so we could get a better idea as to what do the actual numbers look like. And
At closing, I believe there was 58 members. There's no doubt, based on the numbers that we have, that those members are using it. But on a day-to-day basis, when it's opened, wrong list. In January of this year, there was 3.12 kids there per day. February, 3.2 a day. That's based on day passes and member check-ins.
And when they said the publicizing, we publicized tremendously on the promoted events out the wazoo. We put them in the newsletter. We put them on our social media, which has a much bigger following than the individual Durand Youth Center. It hits all over. It hits citywide and beyond. So we have really, really pushed these events hard.
In March, based on the days that were going to be there, there was 130. It's one of our bigger ones. There was 130 people that played there through the 26 available days, which comes out to five per day, 5 visitors per day pass or members. Then it goes back down, down in April at 3.9. May has 4.29 visitors a day, and June, prior to closing, was up to 5.57 people there per day. And if you look at the logs, it is the members, it is the people that go there. They utilize the facility. We actually took this to Rania about 7 or 8 months ago. Said we've got to come up with some reasons. We got to come up with more programming. We need to have the numbers increase. We need to find ways to get more usage. And we just haven't done it. Those are the numbers. And And it's hard for me to kind of even sit up here and talk about it because I went there as a kid. I rode my bike up there as a kid. But I got more in a different hat than the kid hat right now. And I think we just need to have a look at what we want from the facility, what we want to do. Can we get better programming in there? Is there somebody that wants to come in there? I don't know. So that is, yeah,
know,
so
for a
it's
nonprofit.
not out of the realm of possibility that we bring it back that. I'm just providing the updates that I am.
And I
So
think last time you and I talked about it, I made the comment that if we follow through with the renovation of the outside of the Durand Park,
correct.
And maybe
then
that'll do
the
something.
use of the Durand Youth Center may reveal itself
Correct.
as a result. But I don't know you're talking about a year and a half from now, probably, before you'd have
Right.
everything, about 18 months to 2 years, before you could have everything done to the outside of that area. Am I wrong?
That's by the end of
That's
next
about
year, that's accurate.
And,
so.
and having, all this staff in there to sit there for an entire 8-hour day and maybe 3 people walk in the door, I mean, that's, Parks comes under fire, first and foremost. Everybody's like, anytime with the city, well, you spend too much in parks. Well, you need to cut parks. It's always the easy go-to is, we'll cut parks, and I've heard that over and over again. So we are always tasked with trying to do more with less. The parks budget was cut $600,000 from the previous year, and yet we see, people, oh, you're doing too much. Well, they see us actually revitalizing parks and doing stuff, so therefore it's too much. Well, that's not necessarily the case, but I do think that we do always have to take a hard look and go, okay, where can we be more efficient? What can we do better? And instead of, well, let's just do things because we've always done things, I don't think is the right approach either. So it's like, okay, we didn't budget for the AC unit to go down. We know we've got council members that are not happy with, when we have to come to them and ask for more money to be allocated to parks. So it's like, well, since we're not getting the usage in, let's just take a pause. The heater works, in terms of, wintertime. So let's just take a pause and try to figure out. And some of the programming could be done in other places. It's not to say, and we are trying to do more and more when it comes to free programming and events in terms of for families. The concert series, we had that massive Easter egg hunt. I think, Shelby, you were up here for that. Winterfest, a lot of that's going to be family, orientated. And, the Buddy Bear or the Little Bears program, there's a lot of things that we are trying to do, and we're trying to do them. I know that the economy is tight right now. I get that. And we're trying to do all that we can, but we also just need to be careful too, because times have changed. I mean, I wouldn't feel comfortable going and dropping my kids off when they were little at a facility. And obviously, a lot of people are not, which is why you're not seeing that. Kids today are not just, hey, I'm going to go ride my bike up and hang out at the youth center. They just don't, they don't do that, all that much. Obviously by the usage, because it's like, well, let's look at it from all angles, and that's what we're trying to do. So that's why we put a pause on it for the time being.
Why do we build so many parks? Because if they're not going to hang out there, they're not going to hang out at our parks.
Well, obviously, like what we've seen, we do have successful parks. But typically, those kids are with their parents. Now, the high school kids are not, and they're coming up here, and they're coming up here because it's by the police station, and their parents feel like this is safe, and they're up here in droves. While I was sitting here, Joey, say the last name, I always put Pewitz.
He texted me that earlier too.
Yeah, he just posted on social media. He ran up here last night, and there were 56 people up here at the pickleball courts.
Well, and that's nice for this side of town.
Well,
It's real
this is
nice
in
for
the
this side
middle,
of town.
yeah.
It's this side of town. This has always been, I mean, when I was growing up, I lived on this side of Club Road, and I wasn't in Sherwood. You know, Sherwood was the other side of Club Road. I grew up outside of Sherwood until 1972. That's when I came into Sherwood, 71 or 72. So Sherwood was Club Road over to Old Sherwood. So, I mean, that's the side of Sherwood I'm talking about. And that's the side of Sherwood that has always relied on and depended on the Delmont Park, the Duran Youth Center, those parks and things over there.
Gravel Ridge. Do
Do
you not
what?
think that they would need like a
I
youth
think
center?
they would fine, but we're talking about closing we're talking about closing something over there right now.
Well,
I'm
we're
not
also
about
talking
Gravel
about
Ridge.
spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on a project
What's our
over
surplus
there.
right now? Balance?
I do not know
It's right at
offhand.
19 million, something,
No,
13?
no,
It's-
no. Because you've got to remember, we've committed to building the Public Works facility. We've got, when you are sales tax only based, you have to have a larger fund balance than you do. And the surplus is one-time monies, but it's nowhere near 19 million
I understand it's
just,
one time, I understand
you
it's
know,
one time
hanging
money.
out there. This is ongoing revenue. When you invest in a park like we have, that's not ongoing salaries for someone to sit out there and babysit the kids.
But we're talking about keeping it going until we finish the outside part and then figure out what we can do with it from there. And we're talking about, you know, putting the air conditioners back in it
And staffing it.
and staffing it and keeping it going until we get the outside done and can figure out what to do with it from there.
So how much
So-
staff do you want to put in there on a daily basis?
What'd you have in there? 2?
Well,
So-
typically should have been Rania and a part-timer based on the usage, because when we go in there, there's
So you're
nobody
gonna-
there,
you're
you don't
gonna
wanna pay two
have,
people there, so.
You know, a great deal in salaries for 3 people, 4 people, 5 people?
I don't know.
And then, the other side of it is there.
We have a day camp.
We do have a day camp, after-school program, and, you know, I'm torn on this one a little bit because I think that the usage is what I keep going to, and I don't mean to be disrespectful to anybody who has a member and utilize it. That's the purpose of the facility. It just it's not getting used
Yeah.
as much as it needs to be.
Well, I hear that in the numbers, but I just wonder if we at any time had let the people that were coming there know that we're thinking about closing it because of the usage, if they couldn't have brought the numbers up,
I
the people
believe
that
somebody
were
has
using it.
already
But-
told me that they would like to, but, you know, bring it for other kids from after school, and things of that nature.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, you guys have any questions on the Duran or comments on the Duran Youth Center? or-
How many, Blake, again, how many, was it 60, how many people do we have that were
Members?
members, 66, is that right? Is that what I'm reading?
It's about,
Some
There
of them
was-
were like city employees that
Well,
were trying to
there's-
support it.
and there's adults, at the time that I received the log, there was 81 members, and it had already, some of them had already expired. And 15 of those were adults. And that was right when we closed down. So
And
that was
that's
June
yearly?
17th. That was June 17th. I
Yeah, it's
haven't,
just crazy people would sign up for a year, spend that money, and then just never
It's
go.
$24, that's
yeah,
why.
that's the other, it's,
But still, I mean, but you just never,
well, what we've done is we've issued refunds while we, across the board, prorated them out to everybody that had a membership currently, so they should be getting those, whatever it is, $24 prorated based on how many months were left, while we figure this out, so, yeah, it's tough.
Scott?
How many square feet is the facility?
It's a great question.
What?
Sean, you don't know.
That's where.
You know.
Oh, wow, Sean.
If I don't, I'll tell you. Hopefully.
The reason I ask is I just wonder if it could be done at 1/5 of the size with your numbers, you know.
Partition it.
Partition off the building, you know, do whatever, but just make it smaller
Good idea.
with
Yeah.
the,
Wouldn't have to cool that
Well,
much.
not put
Well,
All right,
it's
if you have, if
still
you're
the
not,
staffing, though.
yeah, if you're not
Yeah.
familiar with the facility, there's 2 side rooms and then like an open, bigger lobby area. The side rooms are hopeful for programming, like there's an art room there, and then they used to have karate and fitness classes in another room. There's 2 pool tables and an open area for the kids to play, and, you know, there's tables for games and things like that, so it's,
Yeah, the doors are in the middle, and it's almost like it has wings. There's doors, it's like a shotgun in the middle with doors on either side, coming into a big room, and then wings on the end with rooms, for the
And then an
program
office
rooms.
area.
Yeah,
Kind of secluded back in the back.
yeah.
Yeah, I have little, let's say little, my girls are 11 and 13 now, but they've spent time there. I mean, I would like to see us figure out a way to make it work. I do like the idea of us having a place, because, I mean, I do agree that the world has changed. We're a lot more kind of helicopter parenty than our parents were. I had a house key at second grade. Like, I wouldn't do that now. Like, I got on a bicycle and left my house at 8 o'clock in the morning. I came back at dark. Can't do that now. But I do like the idea of having a place where, you know, these ladies can bring their kids and feel safe about leaving them there. That's kid-oriented, not, I mean, you want them to be somewhere where there are other kids. I said, I don't know what it will look like, and I mean, it's something that, you know, we'll be tasked with, of trying to crunch numbers and really look at what works, but I'm one that I would like to not see it completely go away. I mean, I don't know, again, I don't know what it will look like, but, I mean, having a youth center, Sherwood is one of the most family-friendly places you're gonna find. And I would not like, if I had my way, I'd like to figure out some manner in which that option still exists for the families.
We are looking at several different options, like not putting a full-time, well, in fact, we won't put a full-time person back there, but really limiting the hours of it, because it really is silly to have people sitting up there all day long, you know, we're trying to crunch numbers and see, okay, what time do they come in? And maybe they extend the hours in the summer, and then it's reduced, you know, and so that could help reduce the cost by being able to man it through part-time. So, I mean, there's a lot that we are looking at in terms of that. So it's not like a final decision has been made on it, but we just felt like, you know, Parks comes under the fire squad all the time, and so it's like, okay, well, let's, you know, we've got plenty of time to put an air conditioning unit in there for next year when we can budget for it, and then that gives time for us to hit a restart and
Look at policies.
Try-
list
yeah,
policies and
let's-
procedures. And to Charlie's point, I mean, you know, if we do renovations to the exterior, and then that, I don't want to tie that to a membership either.
we would want it to
So
be free if it were that
then we
case.
maybe convert back to, you know, no
So
membership.
what are the ages? I
Well,
think I missed that.
and that is the other concern too, because do you want a 17-year-old hanging out with a 6-year-old?
That's why I'm asking about the ages.
You don't, you know, not in today's day and age. And I don't care what other cities do, that's just too dangerous.
Children 8 and under must be accompanied by a parent, guardian, or relative that is 14 years or older at all times.
Okay.
And I will say this caught me a little off guard, because I thought it mirrored what we did over at the Bill Harmon Rec Center, which you had to be 9 or 12 in order to be left.
So what's what's the top age? 14?
There is no age.
There is no
There's
top
adult-
age.
Therein lies some stuff we look at.
So I'm gonna put my other hat on, my youth pastor hat on. So I heard Councilman Harmon talking about updates and all that. So I'll tell you, our youth room at church, I mean, every 4 or 5 years, you gotta turn that thing over, you gotta do some stuff to keep kids wanting to come there and be a part of it. So if we haven't done that, shame on us. Naturally, nobody's gonna come there. Nobody wants to play on a pool table that's 20 years old. If you don't have video games or something like that, kids are not gonna come.
And we do not.
So I think if we did do the updates and refresh it, I think you would see the numbers go up from 2 or 3. The numbers will go up. But I will say, I was taken back to know that we're dropping 6-year-olds and 8-year-olds off, because the other hat, like I said, that opens us up for some liability. I don't, you need 10 workers there to monitor kids. If you got 3 there, by themselves. So to put my other hat on, we probably need to look at that as well. And also, like Councilman Harmon said, I think we got to make sure that we are a council that's looking at the whole city. Because, I don't want us to start hearing the other side saying nobody cares about the old side, the old part of Sherwood. So we need to make sure that we're, addressing that by the youth center if it's still over there. Those are my 3 cents for the whole discussion.
I totally agree. I think if you update it, I think it changes, it's a game changer. I mean, I think anytime you update anything, it makes, I think if anything proved, look at Sylvan Hills. We built a middle school, and all of a sudden, we go up, you build a new high school, and, just a few years back, we averaged 700 students, and now we're at 1,500.
Well,
Everybody likes new.
yeah.
I do think, I
agree.
think if you update, I also kind of just thinking, even when you update it and see the growth, there still might be times where, hey, during this time, that way, from a city perspective, you can have it staffed, but you're having it staffed in that crucial time instead of just saying, hey, we're running it from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. at night.
Exactly.
And so, I do like that, but I think the main thing, right now, we need to get the plan in place to update the outside.
Yeah.
And I think that will affect how the inside. I also agree that we need to make sure we're all of Sherwood. I
Yeah.
think that side needs to make sure that we definitely need to upgrade that area where they have a place to go.
Well, I will say we have more parks in that area of town than any other area of town. If you really look at it, it's the northern part of the
I believe
city
that.
where we don't have the facilities and the parks, yes. So, and if you look at Hinton, we definitely, they're not being neglected by any stretch of the means. But as we look at how we want to do that in the future, and we'll have more discussions about this as we go on, but maybe we do gear it towards more of a teenage sect where you've got the video games and you have those type of things. But that being said, I'm not comfortable then with little ones being dropped off there with older ones. I just think we're asking for potential problems. So we just need to think through it, is my point. And I do think we need a reset. I think gearing it towards the littles is not working. So y'all keep bringing your ideas. I think the video games and that kind of going that slant is a good idea.
I think it's all a good idea. A lot
6,700
of good
square
ideas.
feet. 6,700-ish.
I knew you.
Now you need to break that down by room, please.
I'll email y'all.
Yeah, we all want a floor plan tomorrow.
Oh, my gosh.
I have it drawn up for y'all tomorrow.
That's been our point, and that's why I've just said that we're looking at it because we need, there's a lot to look at. And it's not just the facility inside, it's not just the air conditioning unit, it is policy, procedures, what we want from the place. And I think that's trying to look at the big picture stuff. So that's kind of where we're at on that as well.
So again, thank you. I do agree with you. Thank you for bringing that to us, because we do need to brainstorm and see, and like you said, so we can make sure we have the best use of our facilities. Thank you for bringing that.
Absolutely.
All
Thanks
right,
for saying so.
moving right along, I think that Joey's is the next item on the agenda.
All right.
Everybody has a packet in front of them.
Not too sure as to the direction of the conversation I want to take it, but I just wanted to bring it to your attention that there have been negative pest reports that we've received from the pest service that's gone in there. This is a company with pictures. This is the second time we've issued a notice. Based on lease, it's a 15-day notice that it needs to be brought back into compliance. The first time it happened, this time we were told that it was. The next day, a pest report was done that said it was worse than it was before. So I am bringing it to your attention.
So nothing was done after that first report? That you could do, that they could
Well,
tell?
according to the report on this one, I don't know if did we put the first one in? That this report that they sent, it was a lot worse. I think, they also provided some recommendations to, kind of curb some of this stuff, such as the trash. And in one of the, responses I got, it said that she's not going to take the trash out at night. She's not gonna have her staff take it out at night. And I
Or
don't.
or if it's raining?
Or if it's raining and things of that nature. So, I don't mind being a mediator on these things, to send emails to, to let her know we've got these reports, we need to do something about it, but I think,
The 15-day window's about up.
yeah, the 15-day window is about
this
up.
notice?
and- Yes,
Okay.
so,
The reinspection of these.
yeah, and we're on the hook, we're paying for them to go twice down there. We go once upstairs, twice downstairs, and we've scheduled an additional, inspection. So, since that, I haven't received, communication from the tenant, so I'm
Now-
just.
Now, this one says it was on August 6th. Was that the date of this inspection?
Yes, July 30th was the first one. First pest master was this, all right, first pest master report was 7/23/24. And on July 30th, she was placed on notice, a violation of section 9.
Why is it that she doesn't want to take the trash out again? So I remember discussing this
It's a long
in
walk,
council, it was just a long way away, but didn't we offer a
She has a golf
golf,
cart.
she has,
She has a golf cart?
She has her own golf cart.
so she has the means to take the trash?
It's really, yeah,
mean-
I mean,
Okay.
that's really not our responsibility
No,
to
it's not.
provide a nice golf cart,
It's not, but we
that the
discussed
city's.
that in council about that. I just wanted to know
Yeah.
why it wasn't going out.
Well, yeah, we discussed the fact that it really needs to go out every night. I think that's pretty standard in the restaurant business.
in
So
the
I don't
lease.
know, I don't own a restaurant, but is there like not some kind of code for taking stuff out, trash out at night or something?
That
I
would be,
don't know.
that would be a question for the health department. I don't know, but you
And
think there would be?
I think in the lease, it says it will be taken out daily.
It does.
So
I do remember
she
that,
gets
yeah.
it she'll take it out in the morning, that covers the daily.
I just thought.
But she did say that they're taking it out 2 times during the day now, so they're willing to take it out, and I can't speak for her, I don't even want to try to speak for her, so I'm just bringing y'all this information.
But it's what happens at night, that typically, as we all know, that's when the bugs and the rodents and everything come out.
And I don't really know what to do other than just kind of report on the reports that I get, except for,
Yeah, and they are coming upstairs, which is the bugs, but upstairs, I will say the city employees, they take the garbage out, no matter how late it is, every single night. They don't leave garbage up there, under any circumstances.
Now, all these pictures that are taken, this is non-working hours here, right? Is that right?
those are done, I think he goes at 8:30 in the morning on usually Tuesdays.
Okay.
And she's aware of those days, and then, so he's in there 8:30 on Tuesday. So that's 8:30 in the morning,
But like this.
correct?
That
8:30 in
was-
the morning, the next, yeah.
That was probably there overnight, maybe.
Correct.
The city attorney's here, if anybody has any questions for him on this issue. He'll be happy to answer them. Tickled pink.
The old Air Force cook in me is telling you, you can't leave the kitchen like this overnight. Like, we can't do this.
There's this one picture.
Can't do this.
I mean, that almost.
It should be cleaner at night when I leave than it was when I got there.
It's grease.
Oh, okay. I mean,
What was the last thing you
I
said?
don't know what it is.
she better than black mold.
It should look better at the end of the day.
That's what it is.
And sit down than it did when I started my shift.
Oh, yeah.
You can't come in and start cooking it like this.
As an IT person, it's like my head hurts.
And those pictures were taken by the,
Not by us.
technician that goes in there and does the spraying and things of that nature, so.
Pest control.
Yes. But as an ultimate middleman on this, I'm just relaying information. And this isn't the first time we've had to ask also additional time to take out trash and things.
So the 14th of August would be the 15th day? Okay. All right. Well, thanks for the
And on the
report.
14th, pest masters will be back again.
Okay. And I guess the city attorney will take it from there depending on the results?
Yes, and I guess we also would like to find out in terms of you all and what you all, as a committee, you see the pictures, you know the situation. We know how controversial all this has been. What you all feel as well, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, we do have a lease and it's legally binding and so forth, but
I'll start. I'd say follow the terms of the lease if she's in breach.
Okay.
What do you say?
Yeah.
It is, a lease is a lease.
Lease is a lease,
You
yeah.
got to.
okay. We didn't want you all to think that we were going rogue or trying to do something out of line or anything else. So we are trying to communicate as much as we can,
Okay, thank you.
guys.
All right. Does anybody have any new business they'd like to discuss tonight?
I know that Austin's out there. Can we get an update on Field 1, the repairs that we're doing on that one?
Austin.
Teach you to come to the
I
meetings.
really just wanted to bring Austin up here to talk.
I told you he wasn't gonna speak. Come on.
I know he loves to come talk, so
Yeah, he
I,
loves to
Yeah,
talk
that's my
so much.
favorite part. So pretty much we sand leveled the infield, so we brought in probably a coat that thick of sand on top of the grass after aerating it. We took a level across it, and we've been watering the crap out of it, but, sorry, I don't know if I can say that, but.
You already did.
The reasoning behind me asking Coach James to stay off was just because if the sand gets footprints in it, it's gonna go into the ground unlevel.
totally agree.
So we want it level until it was completely gone before we let people back on it. We also moved, I think, 8 sprinkler heads out of the dirt that weren't working because they were stuck in the dirt. So they've been moved over to where they're in the grass. Hopefully those stay working. But anybody that's been up there knows I fight that every day. So, but all that, the normal stuff, we've been aerating, top dressing. We bought a lot of sand. We've been living in a beach up there, but
Austin,
Yeah.
was one of those sprinkler heads behind the second base?
Yes.
Stays, okay, will that dry that up then?
yeah.
Okay.
So that was why we sand leveled it. So the ground isn't level under the grass, which is a whole different problem than if it's dirt, I can grade it. We had a low spot, I would assume goes back to when it was put in. The sand level is hopefully gonna bring that spot up. We don't really know till it rains 100%, and it hadn't rained in a while. But the numbers we got to redo just grass was pretty crazy. So that was the best we could come up with at this time. I think it should work. I've never tried it on that scale, but it appears smoother as of right now, and the grass is growing through it, so it's well on its way to working in. So
And you use Mandel too. He goes out there and consults as well. So he's the
Mandel,
grass
yeah.
guru.
And
And
for,
they'll make grass grow on that.
for the group, if you didn't know, it, like Austin said, over the time period, the infield grass had really made where water would just stand and you weren't able to play games. And I will speak up for that group and for Austin. They do an incredible job, as far as what they do, especially how many fields they have to take care of. And like I said, we have met many times trying to come up with a plan, and I even met with Blake, and the number was way up there. And so I do thank you for trying to
Thank you.
to get that back in
I've
place.
in that infield before.
And I just appreciate you having to come up and talk.
I appreciate that.
You have to give the same report, Austin, during council Monday, okay?
He's not going to come to council. Are you kidding me?
He'll have COVID come Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. It's not
You
going to
feel
happen.
it coming on already, don't you?
Little scratch
Well, you
right
got
there.
red all of a sudden.
You get used to it.
That's
All right. Any other old business or new business anybody wants to discuss that we haven't discussed?
I just want to hit some new business. The first of the year, effective January 1, the senior center will be coming under Parks and Recreation direction. I believe the council members received a memo about it. We've got two people that are retiring from over there. It was once under Parks and Recreation, and we're excited to have it back under there. I think we'll be able to do some awesome things. Tanya, who's back here, she is going from tennis over to the senior center. She's already over there training. There's a lot of stuff that they got to learn over there, so she's going over there, and Michelle from the mayor's office is going over there as well. So they're over there learning it. And we spoke with the staff. They were extremely excited about it. They were excited about opportunities about bring some different activities and taking the group over to the Bill Harmon Rec Center. I think
Chair volleyball.
chair volleyball. They need more space. They need a higher ceiling. We got a gym right next door, so
Like
they.
with the beach
I think
ball.
I think it's going to be a good thing. So we're excited about it, but we'll make you aware of that. So.
I think that's a good move. I think that's a very good move.
Let me just say something real quick. They're right. I'm glad you brought this to us. Everybody knows how passionate I am about that place.
I think we all are. You're good.
We are.
Yeah.
And you are too. You're not far behind me, but there's not many people's been there longer than me and him and her. Just a couple of years. So it's just, I get passionate about it, and
Yeah.
you know where I'm at. And I am glad you brought this here. And like I said, if anybody can do it, I'll be your biggest supporter, your biggest cheerleader, that's for sure. So,
Have your phone. If it goes this way, we'll be calling for some advice as well. This is going to take everybody to do it. So if it goes that route, then the teamwork should be expected. So
Yeah,
Teamwork
I imagine everybody's going to get behind it once we decide which way to go. They'll get behind the plan that we choose, so. All right, nothing else? Chair would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Second.
All right, we're out of here.